You are listening to The Joyce Aldrich Show from Toronto, Canada. Paranormal and UFO edition. Yes, we call them UFOs.
Starlight, star bright, first star I see tonight. Might be Venus or some unknown light, hovering a bit too low tonight. The lightning sheet, lightning with a balloon, or something strange out of a five-star cartoon.
I used to live in a psychic city. I never knew what would happen in a day. I might be looking out the window, and a friend might say, come on over, come on over, come on over, we're having a party for you. Come on over, come on over, come on over, we're having a party for you.
Yeah, you're hearing the intro there for Brough Perkins, psychic and medium, and someone whose readings aim to heal the past in the present, setting your future free. And always love having Brough on the program because he's full of great insights, and from this side and the other side. Brilliant mind, actually, Brough. I want to tell you, you are amazing. I'm always amazed by everything you have to say because I'm not as articulate as you. You being this amazing Gemini, so and me being the weird Leo. So there you go.
Well, I come here for the compliments.
I know.
Thank
Well,
you, Joyce.
Leos are good at schmoozing.
Oh, wow. It's amazing.
No, seriously.
appreciate
I've been listening to your Mondays and Tuesdays. Now you're at Tuesday at 8 a.m., 8 p.m. Oh my gosh, 8 p.m. With Suzanne, and you have other guests as well. Come on, but wow, when I hear you and Suzanne doing your readings, I'm blown away. Your connections are so authentic and real and sensitive, and I just love the way you address your readings. They're amazing, and how great you are with all the people who call in for readings.
Well, thank you, Joyce. Yeah, we're going back to Mondays. Suzanne, my mentor, was a high school teacher of mine in the 90s. And my buddy Mike told her that I could see auras because earlier that summer I had saved a life. I had sensed a friend was in trouble, and I ran over to the house, and I intercepted him mid-asthma attack.
Oh, wow.
And he was having a seizure, so he couldn't get help. And the neighbor happened to have a nebulizer. So I immediately found my friend, went to get the neighbor, then called the ambulance. And the doctor had told him when he got out of the hospital a week later that a minute more would have been permanent brain damage. So all because of a vision that I had had. And so, yeah, Mike told Suzanne, who was an art teacher in high school, this kid can see auras. And so Suzanne said, stand up, read me. And that was the beginning. I told her what I saw. I said, your aura is yellow, which means you smoke, you've got a black dog, and you're going to marry your boyfriend. All of which was true and all of which came true. And now I've dragged her out of mothballs and forced her to do my live streams on Monday nights at 7.
Well, she's brilliant. I've had a reading with her as well, and I just find her anyway, Fantastic. So people, you got to tune in to how did it's on Facebook, right?
Yeah, right now I'm doing Facebook live streams, so you can go to my page by searching psychic medium Brough Perkins, and you'll see a picture of me with my kitty cat. And yeah, it'll notify you. And I am psychic in the city, which is why I have some background noise. The guy at my building is using a tractor right now, so forgive that. But yeah, so I do readings every day. That's my profession. I've been doing it for 26 years this year.
Wow. That
Yeah.
that and you're still a young guy.
Sounds it. Sounds it. I think middle age now is categorized at 38, so I'm in my 40s now.
No. I'm 69. I'm middle aged. Let's get that straight. Okay.
All right. Okay.
Anyway,
I'm down.
so it's spring, and things are growing and everything. Beautiful. If it ever, it's been so cold and wet and everything, but that's okay. But it sort of got me thinking about fairies, because I go into the garden, and I even when I'm talking to my plants, I talk to the fairy folk as well. I do. I talk to them, and I say, could you take care of the flowers and the plants and everything? Because I do believe there are elementals in the gardens and everywhere, taking care of these things. And I also want to talk about the difference between, fairies, angels, and spirit guides. I know they're very different, but I thought, yeah, we can throw a leprechaun in there too if you want.
Leprechaun in there and the Fae people. Yes. Well,
the fairy people, yes.
I did grow up in the forest. I came up in a place called Saint Lazare, Quebec, and so yeah, that was a lot of fairies, a lot of fairy tales even growing up. And John, my co-author of my book Connection, The Discovery of a Soul System, he was very interested in what I guess our paranormal research friends call them cryptids. Have you ever heard of that, Joyce?
Cryptids. Yes, I have heard about, but what define again? Because I read your book, so that's probably where I picked it up from.
The cryptids, it's kind of a scientific-y, kind of ghostbustery kind of term for any kind of being that might not necessarily be a dead person, but maybe it's a interdimensional being. Maybe it's something that still interfaces with our natural world, the plants, the forests, the animals, and they kind of phase in and out of our dimension. And ultra-terrestrials is something the late, great Sylvia Browne used to call them. And I like that. I always thought that was an elegant way of describing it. And my one experience with them, I would lay down under a tree, and the backdrop of a blue, beautiful, pristine blue summer sky, or even in the winter, it was even more prominent actually, would be perfect, because I would see what looked like dragonflies, but they were translucent, and they'd be flying in and out real quick, and sometimes little zigzags and stuff. You could say, okay, some of this stuff is like a little microbe on your eye, on your lens, but it wasn't like the worms that you'll see or the little microbes. This was like, these things were flying and flitting around in and out of the trees, and you wouldn't see them if you looked at an open field. You'd see them specifically around trees. And I remember I was hanging out with this guy when I was 17, Kellen. He was a good friend of mine and still is. And he was like a footballer, like really,
yeah.
And I was he was into stuff. Yeah. And we'd like meditate and do seances and go ghost hunting together. So I kind of got him into all this stuff, and he started to see them too. And we were even laying outside of Canada's Wonderland looking up at a tree one summer, and he's like, oh my God, I saw that one. And we were both seeing the same thing from different vantage points. So we knew it was in 3-dimensional space. It wasn't just in our iris or something. Okay. So my theory in that case was, what if these are just ghosts or spirits? Because dragonflies used to be massive in the prehistoric times.
Dragonflies are so beautiful. They're
Aren't they?
iridescent wings. I
But
love
they
them.
used to be huge. They'd be like feet long, like we had ancient. Maybe that's that. Maybe it's something else. I don't know.
Like
I don't
drones.
have a lot.
Maybe they were like drones. I don't know.
I don't have a lot of direct experience with fairies, but that is the closest thing I came. But John has an island called, and of course the name of my my podcast is The Channel.
Yes.
John's island is called Channel Island. And so on his island we'd hear the trees snapping on a beautiful day, and we'd go and this was a real thing. We was trying to figure out what the heck is this, because we'd find young trees broken in half as if something pushed them over. And there was no bears. It was a very small island. You could walk it in 20 minutes. And this invisible force would be doing that. And one time, John told me that he and his father were on the dock. It was nighttime, and they could hear something swimming around the island at motorboat speed. And at one point, it came up into their vantage point and it poked its head up. And it almost, the best he could describe it, looked like a dog with dog ears or something.
Wow.
It was definitely a creature of some kind. And then it poked its head back in the water and continued on its way. But it was like something weird going on. So John is very fascinated about that stuff and cryptids and things. There's definitely dimensions and levels to our world that we don't even interact with mostly.
Yeah, we tend to stay very, very on the surface of this planet, really. We just walk along the ground and the asphalt and surrounded by our buildings and our stuff. But there's so much more. So again, let's talk a little bit about guardian angels and spirit guides, because both guide a person, whether that on this earth. One is a more I guess a guardian angel, more divine, a spirit guide. They're both divine as far as I'm concerned. We're all divine. But what would you have to say about that?
Well, the word angel comes from etymologically from the Greek for messenger.
Right.
And it goes even further back into Old English and everything. Not further back, but there's a lot of different translations that all come to the same thing, messenger. And I think of this story a young man shared with me recently where he was really upset one day after a breakup. And he's 17 or so, and he goes to a park that he loves, and he sits on a bench, and the bench is facing the forest, the woods, and he's thinking about it, and he also knows a lot about the history of this particular forest because he grew up there, and this woman out of nowhere appears, and she sits beside him. She's wearing a red coat, just a nice old lady, grandma type, and she just starts telling him things he already knows about the forest, like she knows the history of it as well. Mm-hmm. And they're kind of having a little chit chat. And then suddenly she gets up and she just looks back at him and says, there's always light at the end of the tunnel. Huh. And he didn't tell her anything about what he was going through. And she walks off, and he sits there for like maybe 3-4 seconds thinking about what she said. And then he just turns to look to see, and she's gone. And this bench is in the middle of a huge football field. So there's no way she could have walked away that fast.
No.
And I said, well, that's an angel, son. That's what that was. And it could be a spirit guide. It could be an angel. I sensed with my abilities that it was an angel taking form in a way that wouldn't frighten him. And they can do that. They can interact. And you hear stories all the time of people who are in a tragic car wreck and then suddenly out of even the EMS people will say, someone came up and put their hand on the person and the person was revived instantly. Or someone was there with them and talking to them, holding their hand until help arrived. Only when help arrived, the help says there's nobody else was here beforehand, but the person in the accident will swear that someone was. So we know that angels do have the ability to take human form or a form that won't frighten us. Myself, I was walking through at around midnight in Mississauga. There was the Port Credit GO train station. This must have been in 2001. Mm-hmm. And I was with my girlfriend at the time. We were walking home. We were these two goth kids coming out of a coffee shop. We thought it was really trendy to sit there and eat bagels and play chess until like midnight close time. And a shady character was starting to follow us. Uh-huh. And Laura took my hand because she was a little nervous. And the guy as we picked up pace, he kept with us, and then he started to gain on us. And so I'm thinking to myself, okay, either I turn around and face him while Laura gets away, or we both run, but we have to make a decision pretty quick.
Right.
And a moment later, we both looked up, no noise, no sound, into the sky about 15 feet ahead of us and something like 20 feet in the sky. A swirling pink light turned into a heart shape, and then the heart shape turned into a solid gold heart hanging suspended in air, shimmering as though it's in sunlight, even though it's the middle of the night in Mississauga. And then in an instant just fades away. And Laura goes, whoa.
Yeah. How big was it?
It was probably, the size of these fairy dragonfly things I've seen. It probably, I want to say maybe it was 10, 15 feet wide and tall. It was a heart, like a heart shape.
Bizarre.
I turned back around to look at the guy, and he has taken off running at top speed in the opposite direction of us.
He saw it
And
too.
he saw it too.
Yeah.
And he, oh God, what he must have been thinking. You know,
Maybe
it's
he
like, oh my
maybe
God.
he saw something you saw, maybe you saw the heart, but he saw something scary for him.
Well, and that's true. That
You
is
know,
true. But
maybe it was a
even if
different.
he had,
Yeah.
even if he had seen the heart, it's so strange because I thought to myself, you know, my scientific mind, I'm like, we're not even going to have holograms like that for another 100 years.
No.
I didn't even think paranormal in the instant, but I do think back often on that, and I think that was angelic. And so, yeah, these entities, and I think of it almost hierarchical. Like there are hierarchies, like
Yes.
these kinds of beings that were flying in and out of the tree. It's like, what is their relationship to the tree and to nature? It seems specific with those entities. And the thing at John's cottage, again, with trees and with nature. But these angelic beings seem to have more influence with us and with earthly affairs.
Yes, and the elementals, the spirit, the fairies, they're more with nature, and we need them, and like the guardians of nature in some ways.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what's said. I mean, you know me, I only speak from experience. I can only tell you
Sure.
limited things I've seen. And I've thought back on that cosmic heart, I call it, in the sky, and it disturbs. It's one of my more disturbing paranormal experiences. People go, why? It sounds so lovely. It's because, well, where is the heart for all the kids that are dying today?
I know. It's
Where is their cosmic heart? And that's what really bothers me about that experience. I'm like, why me? And it, you know, I've been contemplating lately, you know, about, you know, Christians and religious people talk about this concept of the fear of God, and which was always weird and contradictory to me, because I thought, well, you shouldn't fear God, but I kind of start to understand what they mean by that with that experience. For example, it's like, well, I was obviously chosen to be protected, so I have
Yes.
a responsibility.
Well, you know, Theodore Roosevelt wrote a book called Fear God and Take Your Own Part. And I think that's because we are each given a mission. Well, I know we each have a mission coming here. So we made a promise before we came down here to accomplish certain things. You know, that we have a mission, and it's all about soul development, and what I understand anyway. So that's where we have to, you know, hey, we made a promise, and now we're going to take our own part and do something about it. You know, and it's all about that. Yeah. So yeah, and spirit guides, of course. How are they assigned? Do you know? I'm thinking guardian angels are assigned, and I know we can have more than one guardian angel. We can have several, and the same thing with spirit guides, right?
Well, I don't know if you remember in my book, we actually, I was channeling an entity through me while I was in a trance state. So this entity would speak to us about things about the universe, the afterlife, these kinds of topics you and I are speaking about. So
Right.
the spirit guides, the way it was explained to me, you know, when we were more primitive people, when we were like cavemen, you know, some humans that would die might still want to know about what's going on Earth and even learn from the human experience. And those entities would kind of symbiotically attach themselves, almost like a ghost, but instead of a haunted house, you'd be a haunted person. And eventually, as humanity evolved and we came up with better constructs of how we organize our society and things, the spirit guide program came into effect, where some people who are wanting to still interact with Earth and learn from human life, but aren't scheduled, if you will, to come back into a body, opt to become a spirit guide. And so your guide is someone who wants to still learn with you, but also help guide you along the way. And they're kind of our partner in crime. You could think of them like, if you're a police officer, or I used to say a military commando on the battlefield, your guide is the commander on your little earpiece telling you, okay, don't go that way, go this way, or look out for mines over here. So they're kind of looking out for us. And a lot of people do associate spirit guides with angels, or even mistake things that their guides will tell them or do for having been an angel.
Yeah.
And I don't think a guide is as high up as an angel, because your guide won't necessarily be able to physically manifest and make effect in the world the way an angel can.
No.
But your spirit guide will do different things, like a lot of children will see an imaginary friend that appears to them at their age, even
I
though the
had
spirit guide?
one. I
You
had
had
one.
one.
I did. When I used to sit in my cupboard, and I had an imaginary friend named Mary, and I used to blame Mary for a lot of things I did, but but also
Mary took
spirit,
the
but
fall.
spirit guides also. A lot of people think, well, then we have also family members who look after us on the other or watch us. Now, what's the difference between a family member and a spirit guide? Let's say
Well, a family member,
can
of
be a
course,
spirit guide as well.
yeah, they can become one, but not for you because your guide was already a guide before you chose to even be born.
Right.
Our
right.
guide is very rarely, if ever, I've never heard of a case where a spirit guide is actually a blood relative of somebody.
Okay.
I think the objectivity factor also plays in because your guide, think about it, your guide has to watch you make all the dumb mistakes you're going to make.
Yeah.
I don't know that grandma's going to let you. I don't know that Uncle Philip is going to let you, make your mistakes, but your spirit guide has been trained to not interfere with the things that your soul needs.
So when a family member is, because actually family members can be reincarnated back into our own families again, like as a grandchild or a niece or a nephew or whatever. So what's, I
Whereas
guess,
your spirit guide is not scheduled to come back to Earth while you're on Earth.
No.
Your spirit guide is staying up there because they're going to be with you until the end and after. And so
Till the
my
end
spirit
of
guide,
time.
Laren, was able to imprint her image on a physical piece of film.
yes, I
which is
saw
in
that.
the book.
That's amazing.
And I have it on my website too.
Yes.
And the reason she did this was to prove to me at a pivotal point in my development as a medium that she's real, because I had been seeing her face on my bedroom wall or when I would close my eyes at night since I was a little boy. This woman was with me, and I thought, is this just me being crazy? And she goes, no, this is proof. I'm not just in your mind. I'm also real. And so I would hear her voice several times growing up and in my teens, and she still guides me. And she helps me with readings. She helps me with all kinds of things with my psychic development and my personal life. But she keeps me on track, and she's a North Star. So she's like having a best friend, and all of us have a spirit.
A guiding star, yeah. And what was I going to say? Was something that was important about the spirit guide. How do we know who our spirit guide is? How can we find out?
Most people go through their whole life never knowing, and your guide's okay with that. That's part of the agreement.
Okay.
But if you are a medium like me, you tend to spot them. My older sister came to live with us after we had moved to Toronto. She stayed in Montreal for a few years. And in the first couple of days of her moving in, I noticed she was leaving the dining room, and I was looking down doing something at the time, and I noticed a pair of feet following behind her with a long, beautiful white lace dress.
Oh, nice.
And that was my my sister's spirit guide. So we all have them with us. And again, they're trained in a way to be non-interfering. But if you need to hear from them, and Oprah Winfrey asked the same question you just asked of me to Dr. Elizabeth Kubler-Ross, and she said, "How do you connect with your spirit guide?" And Dr. Ross, being the Germanic woman she is, she's so very funny. She goes, "Well, you write your questions to them on a piece of paper, leave it on your nightstand, and you'll dream of the answer in the next 2 weeks, or you'll wake up with it in your mind. And if you don't get an answer, it was a stupid question."
Oh, I love that. Okay, so speaking of all of that kind of stuff, we do have a reading person who's on waiting for a reading from you. And what I thought I would do is I would play a little bit of Platters while you tune in to her. We've got Pat in the wings waiting for a reading. I thought I'd play a little short song called Earth Angel. Would you like that?
I'd love it while Pat's spirit guide gets all lined up.
That's right. So here we are, a little bit of Platters with Earth Angel, but I'll let them sing it. Here you go. I like this one.
Earth angel, will you be mine? My darling dear, love you all the time. I'm just a fool in love with you.
just a fool in love with you. I fell for you, and I knew the vision of your love's loveliness. I hope and I pray that someday I'll be the vision of your happiness. Earth angel, please be mine. My darling dear, love you all the time. I'm just a fool in love with you. I fell for you, and I knew the vision of your love's loveliness. I hope and I pray that someday I'll be the vision of your happiness. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Earth angel, please be mine. My darling dear, love you for all time. I'm just a fool in love with you.
That's inspirational as the Platters. That's Earth Angel, an oldie but a goodie. And I'm going to unmute Pat right now so that we can. Here's a second here. There we go. I'm actually unmuting. What am I doing here? Oh my gosh. There we go. Unmute. Actually, sorry. I just realized I have to ask Pat to unmute because I muted her. Can I believe this? Pat, can you, oh, you're there.
I think I already unmuted.
You're unmuted. And I'm speaking of mute, I have a cat sitting on top of my, this big old boy. He just loves to be here. That's what that big kathunk was earlier. Anyway, so bro, this is Pat. So I'll leave you at it and I'll mute myself.
Hi, Pat.
Hi, how? I'm pleased to meet you.
Pleased to meet you as well. Have we ever spoken before?
No.
Wonderful, wonderful. While we were in the green room waiting for our meeting here, I just kept getting mother energy all around you. Did you lose your mom?
Yes.
I'm sorry to hear that. I just feel that she's around you quite strongly these days. And I got an M initial. I can't tell if it's Marie or something similar. Is that someone that she was related to?
Her name was Margaret.
Margaret? Oh, okay. So she's the M name. Okay, that's good. She's with you. She's given you a couple of different signs. She likes to come to you in dreams when you're asleep because it's when you're less distracted. She also, I keep getting twos, a lot of number 2. I couldn't tell if it was February or if you've just been seeing that number a lot in synchronicities or something, but I feel like that's connected to her somehow. So I'll leave that with you. Is your birthday coming up?
No, it just passed.
Oh, okay. So it's this time of year though, like within a month, right?
Yes.
Okay, because I want to go back to that. What date of the month was it?
The 12th.
12th. Oh, okay. Maybe that's the one too. Okay. Because your mom's been around you with your birthday recent.
My mom's birthday was May 2nd.
Oh, lovely. Oh, this month on the 2nd. Okay. So that's
So
birthday.
that could be the 2.
Both. Yes. That's why. So she's been around you because it's your birthday. It was recently hers. And she's just visiting you a lot these days. And I know this sounds very silly or generic, but I keep getting pie or like I'm smelling baked goods. Was your mom a big baker or do you like to do that?
No, she was a baker.
Because she wants you to almost make whatever's tart or involves the fruity kind of filling, like make that on her behalf, okay, for her and connect with her psychically when you do that.
Okay.
Oddly enough, even though I have a strong mom connection, I didn't think that your concerns today were very much about mom per se. Were you wanting to ask a question about your life more?
I guess just, you wonder where you're going,
Yeah, where you're
where
headed in
your
life.
life's going to take you. I'm older woman. I'm 77.
Hmm.
So
Oh, so you put Joyce in her place. See, it's older, older, older. It's like the archangels are higher up than the fairies. Okay, so that's well. There's two things with your mom around you, with your other loved ones around you. But I'm getting a change in location, like where you're living. Have you already moved into a downsized space?
yes.
Okay, and is your
I
son?
have I had my house and I gave it to my niece and I live in the basement apartment.
Oh, they put you downstairs. That's the downsize. Okay, so it's more of a
Yeah.
downsized space. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Do you have a son that's connected at all?
No, I have no children.
Because I'm getting this young man who's going to help with an opportunity for you with where you live in the next 2 years.
Oh,
And
okay.
if he's not a son, he could be a nephew, he could be a family friend, but he feels like an adult son to me. And maybe you'll relate to him that way too. Even though you're in the right space right now, I still don't see this as being the place that I'm picking up on. Okay, so I feel like you'll remember this in the next 2 years. It's going to be important in terms of your location, but it's going to be good. It's going to work out. It's going to be very convenient for you. It's all about convenience. Now, did you lose? Um, not lose to death. I'm just seeing a breakup or separation. Was it a boyfriend you broke up with?
No,
Because I don't see you settled with a partner right now,
no,
but I feel like
no.
there's a separation in your past years ago. Um, Eddie, Edward, or
I have a
Harold.
brother who passed whose name was Edward.
Edward is your brother. He might be trying to tell me that even though you see yourself as getting up there in age, that there's a companion that I feel being sent to you. Like, and I wonder if it will be an introduction through family or something, like a friend that you're going to connect with who you can do more with. Like, I see a little
Mhm.
travel. I see going to his house. I see in the future, I think it's your brother telling me about this. That's why I get his name. But I feel like your brother wants you to know that it's not over for you, that there's another chapter starting in your life. And much when we end one chapter, we're entering another chapter, and it's about your social ties and it's about having a network around you. I don't want to say you've been lonely because you've been able to be on your own. There's a difference between lonely and on your own. I know that difference, and I feel you do as well.
Yes.
The focus for you is being mandated from spirit to be on your social life. You need to focus on that in the next chapter because there's people who need you. There's people who you don't know yet who need you. And that's what you have to focus on. And that's very interesting to me. And did your dad pass a long time ago, like before mom?
No, no, my mom passed first.
Okay, because I felt years between them, many, like I'm talking over a decade. Was it about 13, 14 years?
That what, when they passed?
Yeah, between them.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, because I think my mom died back in 69.
Yeah, so she was quite young. Yeah, yeah, to have gone because I lost my mom she was 51 years old, so it was quite young. And was it your father or your mother who had cancer, or was it both? That's why I can't tell.
Um, as far as I know, neither one of them.
Okay, because there was another person there then that's also there with cancer that had hit lower in the body. Sometimes it's a prostate or liver or colon or something. Does that ring a bell to anybody for you?
I have my twin brother and
Okay.
he's passed and but he had medical issues, but it wasn't cancer.
Okay, this is not coming to you right away, but I want you to remember the G initial with
My
this one.
grandfather was George.
Okay, it could be that, and it could so long ago. Who knew back then, right? So that
Yeah.
might be what that was about. Okay, so yeah, you've got a lot of spirit activity around you. My goodness. And one of the things that your mom, Margaret, good old Maggie, she's taking care of a couple of different fur babies for you as well. And in particular, I'm going smaller, so I don't know if I'm seeing a cat or just a little dog. What was the last fur baby that you lost?
Oh God. Tasha. And she was a small dog.
Yeah, was she the light colored peachy almost?
Yeah.
Yeah, she's so cute and she's very funny. Did she have the triangular ears like they go up a bit and forward?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
been a
because
while.
she's with mom and your mom's taking care of all of them for you, but you're gonna get them in your dreams, the visitations. But I feel like, you're on a fixed income. It doesn't seem like, I don't know if I should say retired, but that's why the focus is on your personal life now. That's what
Hmm.
this chapter holds for you. And I want to go down, I don't know why, but I want to go all the way down to Niagara area. And then I also want to go out east for some reason. Now, I don't know if out east means Eastern Canada or if I'm supposed to fly over to Ireland or Scotland or something like this. But it feels like they're suggesting places that you're going to go see and be around more for fun, but also with some family members of yours. Do you have any connections to those areas?
Um, no, not really. Just where you go in the past and stuff like this, or areas that you visit, but nothing really strongly connected.
Could be your niece, or it could be someone taking you down to the Niagara region for an event. It feels like a show or a concert. It's more of a show because you could sit down and be comfy, and it could be kind of a weekend thing.
Yeah, we're
And then,
planning something like that down to Niagara.
yeah, and that's going to happen soon. And then the next big trip is going to be, and your loved ones will be with you on this, overseas. I feel like you can go over to the UK, and again, it may be someone else's plan that you get invited into, but your loved ones are bringing it up to let you know they're going to be with you on that trip.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, you've been no stranger to hard work in your day. I mean, you've worked at several different jobs. In your soul, your higher calling is to be a teacher. And I think you appreciated teachers but never really became one. Did you ever think of it when you were young?
Uh, for a limited time, yes.
Yeah. Now is when you fulfill that soul's purpose. So it's like sharing the memories, sharing the stories, keeping the family traditions alive. It's like conveyance of those things is what your calling is partly. That's another reason why it's all on your social life. But I felt like, I've seen offices, I've seen your sleeves rolled up. I don't know if you were ever in a warehouse type setting. I feel like you've done a few different things over the years. What was your main job?
I was the head of a union,
Oh yeah,
a
yeah, yeah.
labor leader.
So you stood up for all those people with rolling up their sleeves. That's why the labor
Yeah,
thing comes to me.
yeah.
That's pretty amazing. But it was a social calling in a funny way, and teachers are social caregivers too. So now it's about keeping the traditions alive and doing that. So that's their message for you essentially is look forward to the next chapter, and here are the areas of your life to focus on. Now, the last thing I'll bring up, because I'm sensing something with your lower back and your joints, and this would even go into your limbs as well. How are you doing there, love? Are those
Um,
places bothering you?
I have rheumatoid arthritis, and at the present time, it's a lot worse than it has been. I've had it diagnosed 53 years.
Wow. Yeah, and you've managed really well without much help. And
Yeah.
so there's three things. There's something with water that's going to be hydrotherapy, if you will, something where in the water it's going to be good for you to move. So people do aquafit, people do things like this. There's now you have to talk to your doctor about all of these things that I'm bringing up, by the way. But I also see a kind of fish oil kind of thing, like capsules of some kind as a supplement,
Hmm.
and that's going to help with the omega-3s and different things like this. And then I do see some kind of therapeutic approach where a practitioner can help your limbs and stretch a little bit. I just see movement of circulation helping you. And then, with all the medical advancements we're about to see in the next couple of years, it's going to be interesting. So you're going to get some relief there, but your loved ones are putting energy through your body when you sleep, and they were guiding me to your elbows, your back, your lower back, your knees, do you get a lot down in your legs?
Yes, a lot.
Yeah. And Joyce will know I have a similar thing. I go through something similar. A lot of psychics, interestingly enough, have arthritic and flare-ups and inflammation issues. So I understand. And when people don't know how much that hurts, eh?
Yeah. Plus, I also have neuropathy,
Well, there you go. Yeah. So
and
they're
that's
moving
from the knees to the toes.
to the toes. So it's about getting in the water. It's about getting anti-inflammatory diet going. It's about the supplements I talked about, but that's going to help you a lot, they say.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is there anything else you'd like to ask about before we wrap up?
Um, I have been diagnosed with cancer
Hmm.
and I am going through treatment. And just, I guess, if you have any visions on where that's going to go.
Success. It's successful. It doesn't even register to me, which means it's a slow moving cancer. It's something they've caught in time. And I think that a lot of the suggestions I even have probably are going to complement your treatments with that too.
Hmm.
So I do see you making it okay. Yeah. This is not the end of the road for you.
No.
This
Good.
is the next chapter for you in your life. And that's why the focus is on family, on social circles, and on healing your health. That's what I keep getting for you. And if we were to do a proper full reading privately, this is the theme the reading would have. But in this condensed version of a reading, this is what I have.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very
No,
good.
no, it's just good to hear because you don't know where it's going to lead. I've had operations,
Hmm.
and so yeah, I'm glad to hear what you said.
Yeah, it's an interesting thing because in your case, I brought up cancer earlier, but that's not. I don't think that's what I was talking about. I think it was for a loved one, probably your granddad. But in your case, I'm going kind of in two places, and I'm even looking at lymph nodes and things like that. What
That's
area?
exactly what it is. I have melanoma, and I've had just recently. I had all the lymph nodes removed from my armpit.
Right, right. Okay, good. So as I said, I feel like they're going to nip this in the bud.
Yeah,
You're on it, Pat. You got it, honey. And I really
yeah, and
appreciate it.
I'm starting radiation treatment in a couple of weeks.
It won't last long though.
5 weeks.
Yeah, it's going to be, well, even 5 weeks. I know people who go through it for longer than that, but it's going to be intense and short, I
Yeah,
feel. Yeah, and then you're going to see positive results. Your doctor will be happy. You're going to get good news by July.
good.
Yeah, let us know and call in my live stream and let us know. Update us.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I will. Joyce will know.
Awesome.
I'm just stepping in here because I'm so pleased. Pat was my maid of honor. When I got married,
Wow.
and she's like
We go back a bit.
a little bit, a little bit. And I kind of chose. I had a selfish reason for talking about angels tonight. I did, because
I'm
Pat.
the angel lady.
She's the angel lady. She makes angels for people, and her limbs have not been great lately. Haven't been able to make the angels, but has blessed with so many people with her beautiful angels that she makes. All these with Swarovski crystals and everything, and
That's
yeah,
amazing.
yeah.
Pat, where are you from, Pat?
I'm Toronto.
Toronto, because this is funny. I didn't even mention any of this, and I should have. But my first job when I was a teenage boy was in a store called Where Angels Gather, which was run by a woman named Gloria up on Yonge Street in Aurora. And yeah, she used to sell all kinds of stuff like that. And we'd always have to give our customers a little feather from, just a goose feather, and you'd give them a little message from their angel. And Gloria would always poke me and say, use your psychic powers, tell them something.
I've given so many people angels. I make them and I carry them and I give people complete strangers. And it's really rewarding to me emotionally.
Mhm.
And I started that when I retired. It's something I wanted to do. And I learned how to make angels. I make all different types. And I love giving them to people.
That's fantastic. Yeah, well, you're like an artist in that sense too. But
Everybody
it's
needs an angel.
everybody needs an angel. And do you have a website or anything, or do you just do it
No,
personally?
I
Yeah.
just do it. Yeah. I haven't done it for a while because my arthritis has been bad in my hands. I can't use them, but I'm getting it back out again. I've got them all laid out, ready to start making again.
Oh, I hope to get one if I could.
Oh yeah.
I will get one to Joyce for you,
Thank you. I'll put it on my office shelf.
or she can give me the address and I'll make you one.
Sounds wonderful.
Yeah, you can mail it to him, or
Yeah.
No, you know what? I'd like to deliver it personally, bro.
I'll get it to Joyce and then Joyce will make
We'll
sure
have
that
that
you get
tea.
it.
Yeah,
Angels and chicken wings.
angels and chicken
Angels
wings.
and chicken wings. So that's a
Angel
good
wings and chicken.
combination.
Yeah.
Actually, that's like a song. I'm gonna make a song on angels and chicken wings, or it's a book. I don't know. That's too funny. I feel really good about this today. This is really wonderful. So,
Yeah,
um,
no, my grandmother, from what they've told me, because I didn't really know her very long from when I was little, she was a psychic,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
but I didn't know her ever as a psychic.
Do you know if she ever did coffee grounds or tea leaves or something
Tea
as
leaves,
part? Yeah, because I just saw that. I saw tea leaves when you said that.
yeah. And everybody, all my aunts and that would talk about whenever Ma came over, they called her Ma, that they'd have to get the tea leaves ready.
Beautiful. Yeah, so she's still flitting about. I saw the tea leaves.
Yeah.
I love
Yeah.
it. Well, I have a bit of an Irish background as well. And Aunt Valerie, my mom, my a great aunt, she used to read tea leaves and palms and stuff in little shops in Ottawa, and yeah, it's. I don't know, it's a lot. I think it's wonderful. People are afraid of all of this. They think it's some sort of weird thing and demonic or something. It's just BS. I mean, we're here for a reason and a purpose. And if there are people who are gifted, when there are people who are gifted, you got to use your gifts. And if you're able to like what you've done tonight, bro, with Pat, it's phenomenal. To give people some
Yeah.
ease and some comfort, and whatever it is, this is what you can do to make things better. This is how you can help yourself. And isn't that a great thing?
Well, I point out that a scalpel could be used to heal or to kill. And it depends on who's using it and what their motives are. And
That's
with
right.
psychic work, you could certainly find negative people and you can find charlatans. You can
Oh,
find
yeah.
all kinds in this field, especially because it's unregulated. But what I always aim to do is aim up and to point
Yes.
toward love and healing and goodness, and not in that airy fairy way. You know me,
No, I know you're not. You're not going to tell me my. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I know. Yeah, not in the new agey way. Yeah, thank
new
goodness.
agey types. But
No,
but that being said, if the intent is good, then it has to turn out good.
exactly.
Yeah.
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 So this is great. Well, I'm. I guess I can. We're gonna. Anything you want to say in before we sign off, Pat? Anything you want? Because I know you're
Yeah,
you're
it's,
you're kind of
you just,
psychic yourself. You've
you
got.
know what I've been going through and mentally and my family and how much they mean to me and stuff
Yeah.
like this. So this has been very relaxing for me, which I haven't been able to do in a little while since the cancer. And
Yeah.
so I want to thank you for making me feel relaxed and that I always felt they were always around me.
Oh yeah.
Just one question. Do you have one with the initial M? Like you said, the M, and I said my mother was Margaret, but I have a twin brother, Michael, who passed.
Yeah, I
And
was
just
going to
wondered
say
if he
M.
was around me.
Yeah, the M you're asking about was a male. I was going to say, yeah. Michael's around you all the time. I see 4 years for some reason. How long ago did you lose him?
About 3, 4 years.
Yeah, this might be the 4th year, if you could believe it, because I know time goes by so fast these days. Yeah, he's watching over. He's the one who flips dimes or pennies at you. You find them in strange
Exactly.
ways.
I've got a jar that I put all the dimes I find in.
And
I have a
it's
silver
like,
bowl, and every time I see a dime on the ground, I say, "Thank you, Michael," and I bring it home and I put it in this container.
Wow.
you know it. You know it. And
Wow.
he loves to do the kinetic stuff like that. So kinetic
Yeah,
meaning moving
it's always
objects.
dimes. So it's funny that you
Yeah.
mentioned that.
Yeah, very strange. Yeah, in a good way. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
your brother. He's all right.
and I
He's
saved them.
You do, and the other thing, he really is happy that you're doing your art. I didn't say this
He
earlier, but
loved my angels.
I did see that it's like not just that, but like I'm seeing scrapbooking at first, but I'm also seeing like not laminating, but keeping something under protection and making a folder or a portfolio of this. And I saw that earlier, and I didn't know what it meant, but I'm going to leave that with you as a concept. Maybe they're telling you to do that.
Yeah. Yeah. See, my brother always loved my angels and always took them, gave them to people, especially when he was not well in the hospital.
Yeah, yeah. Did he have headaches or something? I'm getting headache all of a sudden.
He had a little bit. It was more like that he had the Crohn's colitis and
Oh,
different things like that whole area.
okay. There was no stroke or cerebral hemorrhage for him at the end, no?
I don't know how he died.
Okay, because
I
that
just
might be true.
assumed it was a heart attack or something.
It may have been a cerebral hemorrhage. I'm going to leave that with you as a symbol
Yeah.
because you might find it later. But he's all right anyway. And they're all up there. I almost see your brother, Mike, with the others as well. I'm kind of like a little bit of a jamboree. Like I'm listening to music or someone's strumming on a guitar and there's like a fire going and like they're kind of together as a family like this.
That's how they were in life.
Yeah. Yeah. It's very much like that backyard jamboree.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Very much like this.
So
yeah,
they're all together.
Oh, all of them. There's about 5 of them officially. I mean, the family's bigger than this, but 5 of them in your core.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you know what's interesting, bro, is that, oh, darn, this is going to be I'm turning this off. Sorry about that.
That's okay.
Usually
you know,
it's the host of the show
Yeah,
that yells at us to turn off our cell phones.
I'm a total idiot. Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, no, Pat, when you said something about mother, Pat has actually raised so many of her nieces and their children. Yeah. So yeah, she's a mom without being
They're the children I never had.
Yeah, absolutely. So
he
said that.
And one of the nephews is going to be the main character. Maybe you're going to live with him or he'll create a space for you. Even though your basement's fine, there's somehow an upgrade to your lifestyle that's coming.
My other niece wants me to come and live with her, and she's trying to convince me to move with her.
Looks like it's going to happen.
You might for a little bit. You might for a little bit, but just remember what I said about the young man with in the next 2 years.
Yeah. A young man. Whew.
Well, that's separate from the companion I was talking about. This is a nephew type figure. But anyway.
Well, that's what I said. I'm 77, so a young man sounds
pretty darn good, eh? I don't see you as a cougar, Pat.
No.
It'll be great. It'll be great. And your dad, Pat, in the spirit world, it could be your dad or one of your brothers. It's not clear to me, but one of them is going to take you on a ride in the convertible one day. So in the spirit world, if your conscious mind goes over there, you might find yourself in the back of a convertible with your family. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, nice. My brother had a convertible.
Yeah, it might be him. Is that George you were talking about? No,
that's
your
Michael.
father. That's Michael, your twin. Perfect.
Yeah.
Okay, it would make more sense if it's Michael then. Yeah, make more sense that it's him that does the convertible. And it's like a teal green or it's like a turquoise blue or something. It's very pretty. It's a pretty car.
Yeah. Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Well, this is great.
We will have fun again.
Yeah.
Yes, we will.
Well, you know, I want to say thank you. Oh my gosh, for coming on, Pat, and for Bro for the amazing.
I'm glad that you invited me.
Well, yeah.
You know how I like to be involved in the psychic world, and I go to psychics.
Yeah.
And stuff. So this has been a real treat.
Well, now you got to book a good long one with Bro here. And if people want to book a reading with Bro, and not if, when you do want to, go to broughperkins.ca. So that's broughperkins.ca, broughperkins.ca. And this is,
you can email me that information, Joyce.
I am. I'm letting our audience know as well. Absolutely.
Yeah.
This is so super.
Yeah, I look forward to it.
Yeah. So, Bro, any final words before we close up here with another song?
Well, it's always a pleasure coming on your show, Joyce, and being a guest. And I predict your show is rising in popularity. You know, I've actually had a couple of clients come to me in the last couple of months from other episodes we've done, and all of them, I asked them, do you know Joyce? Is she ever? No, they just came across your show on Spotify and YouTube, and so I predict your show is going to continue to grow.
Yes, and I love where yours is going as well. So if people want to tune in on Mondays, again, tell them how they can do that, because that's fantastic.
You could search for me on Facebook right now. It's Psychic Medium Brough Perkins, Brough Perkins, like the peas, and you can see that I do a live stream on Monday nights at 7, and you could tune in. You can call in with a question, just like Pat, and get many readings. I have guest psychics on tomorrow night. We have Suzanne as my co-host and my mentor, but tomorrow we have Chris Bennett from Vancouver. He's a tarot card medium.
He's good too. Yeah, I like him too. Yeah.
And much like Pat's grandma, Ma, she did tea leaves. A lot of great psychics will use tools. I don't use tools. Could you imagine me fumbling around with tools? I'd probably hurt myself. But Chris picks these tarot cards, but they line up with what he sees in his mind at the same time. And it's amazing. He's done readings for several of my clients, like Toni Collette, who played the mom in The Sixth Sense, left a review on Chris's page. I'm a little bitter that she didn't review me, but she left a great review for Chris.
Well, what can you do? Bro,
We're excited to have him tomorrow as a guest.
I'm going to tune into that for sure. And we're going to leave with Jason Davies, who's a local Toronto musician, and he's done some great songwriting. He's a great singer. He sort of reminds me a bit of David Bowie, and actually he wrote a song called Angel, and I know you're going to love this. We're going to play Angel in our extra, and just stick around, and yeah. And definitely thank you so much to our listeners for listening to the Joyce Aldrich Show, Paranormal and UFO edition. And what a fabulous edition it's been tonight. Boy, what a great connection. This is one for the testimonials there, bro. One for the testimonials.
And I want to thank you very much. You've really lifted my spirits.
You too, Pat. Talk again.
Oh, well, listen to this beautiful song, Jason Davies, and this is Angel.
When this world we live in drags you down, I'll pick you up and I'll dust you off and put on your crown. And when the walls around you are closing in, don't know where it ends or where it begins. And when you're feeling lost and you can't be found, well, don't worry, baby, just turn around. I'll be your angel in the night. I'll be your angel in the morning light. I'll be your angel where angels feel the tread. I'll be your angel in the holds tight. Forwards, and sometimes you just push back, and sometimes you think you got it all figured out. Sometimes you know you're way off track, and when you're feeling lost, and you can't be found, well, don't worry, baby, just turn around. I'll be your angel in the night. I'll be your angel in the morning light. I'll be your angel, but angels feel the dread.
listening to The Joyce Aldrich Show from Toronto, Canada. Paranormal and UFO edition. Yes, we call them UFOs.